Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Lunenburg Water District meeting. Today is March 26th. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okie dokie. Let's start with reviewing the warrant, signing that, and there's some meeting minutes floating around also.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we accept the minutes of March 12th, 2025.
All in favor?
Aye. So there goes.
Think there was anything out of the ordinary? Oh, property, so this is health, property. Liability. Just put,
No.
I just signed them. Can we get back?
I just kind of look at it.
yeah.
showing off because he
He's
just
got a-
finished that book on farmers.
Yep.
You must in there like he's supposed to catch it or something?
You must have graduated from Lunenburg, you can't even write.
Nope. No, I've signed too many papers, so I know my squiggle like everybody else. Hey, whoa, whoa,
He's
whoa,
gotta sign
whoa, I
the
still gotta sign the last
That's
one.
fine.
Oh, okay.
Nobody can do that hook like I can on the end of my.
That's a good one.
All right, moving on. We're gonna review and discuss the annual meeting articles in the open moderator position. So in front of us, Chrissy printed out the articles for the annual meeting, which we discussed last meeting, and pretty much, I mean, do we wanna pick who's reading what right now?
Mhm. That's it, the warrants are even, you guys
Yep.
already approved it, it's posted at meetings this Saturday. 8 to 10 is voting for commissioner for 3 years, which on the ballot right now is Matt, you're up for reelection. Moderator, we do not have anybody. So if anybody would like to
Run for
put their
moderator.
name in, you are more than welcome to. It's 8 to 10 is voting, 10 o'clock is the meeting for the warrant that's been posted. So tonight is just reviewing those articles, getting you guys all set.
Yeah, so if you guys wanna pick who's gonna read which
I
one.
just did.
Oh,
We're all good.
okay,
All
there
right,
you
so we're
go.
gonna just go
So
in
who's
this
reading,
order.
who's reading two?
I'm gonna read one, John's gonna read two.
No, no, one's the
We pass over
moderator.
one. The moderator passes over that till we get the results.
That's me.
So that's moderator.
So then John's 2, Mark's 3. I'm 4, John's 5, Mark's 6. I just kind of went in the order we're sitting here.
All right.
1, 2, 3, you know?
I feel it's kind of, I seem like I got more.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
You
important,
did.
that's
John,
why.
Mark. Okay, yeah,
works for me.
well, that was easy enough.
Okay.
Who's doing 6, you?
Yep.
So John, you got 2 and 5.
Yep. 2 and 5.
I'll print those out now, I'm ready for
With big
for
letters.
Saturday, yeah.
All right.
What happens if we don't have a moderator? Is there a,
In the past, when we didn't, like say the moderator couldn't make it, at the actual meeting, we would make a motion that so-and-so's
So you could just,
interim.
if somebody was there, they could.
Yeah, we could
So
see them.
like say anybody's here, we could say, I make a motion that Dave Rogers is the moderator. Second, boom, now it's a vote.
Even if they don't wanna do it.
Even if they don't want it. I mean, he could deny it, but I
Right,
mean,
yeah.
but that's what it is.
But if we don't have anybody, we can hopefully try to line something up and point, but I
The
mean,
chairman usually does it, you know, can pick somebody.
yeah.
Good.
We can always ask to, KP Law will be here for our annual meeting as usual.
Yeah, just
So we can
make
always
sure
run
that,
by
just in
him.
case, we
Yeah.
at least have if there's a format or something we have to
I
follow.
mean,
we follow it.
Jeff will be here for this Saturday.
Yes.
Right.
But after that, he's
He's done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. We're getting him like a silver gavel or something? for-
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Some Robert's rules or whatever, you know.
He can pass on that book.
The
He,
book.
he bought the book,
Yeah.
so he can just pass it on.
Okay.
All right, review and discuss time bonds, update on the Keeling's pilot study.
Okay, so, as of yesterday, the, pilot testing was finalized. They actually had called a couple weeks ago, they wanted to extend it into April, but we flush first,
Yep.
April first, we start flushing. And, it would be impossible for us to do that. So they kinda talked and they figured out what they needed to do, and, they felt that this week, they could get all the information they needed. So one of the troubling things was the backwash. So they did three medias, IX media, the GAC, and the Fluorozobe. And the Fluorozobe for the other pilot testing was like the best one. And in this case, it looked like it is too. The PFAS never broke through, so they never saw, like, so if you went and saw the columns, there's 25%, 50%, so they can actually see where the PFAS, how far the PFAS got through that column. The Fluorozobe never got even to 25%, so they never saw it go through. So on that side, it looked great, but on the flip side is the backwash. The backwash has PFAS in it, and that's what they were trying to figure out yesterday when they were shutting it down. How can they get the PFAS out of the backwash? Could they run it through another filter? So they were trying to figure out how to do it. I haven't heard what the results are, but so it's not clear and simple. And if there is PFAS in the backwash, that's a whole.
That's,
You know, and then the media was getting plugged up, so they were seeing pressure head build up on the media, all of them. And so that's kind of a troubling thing too, because that means that you have to backwash more frequently. And in this case, we're backwashing, you know, how, I mean, do we buy a truck, pay someone to do it, or how do we do it? And
So,
well, then how do you get rid of the backwash? if it
what
had-
was, when we did the Hickory Hills pilot test, like, what was the solution there for the backwash?
Yeah, that one was good, cause it was the very limited backwash, and there was no PFAS in the backwash.
So what
So
makes,
I'm
what
not
makes this?
sure why this one's different. I don't know if it's because of the hardness, they had to do things different, I'm not sure.
Okay,
But anyway, so, they said all the lab results will be in April, and their final report will be available in May.
okay.
So we should learn a lot in
Yes.
May.
Huh.
So I gave you the whole printout
Yeah.
of all the information. It's a bunch of lines. And it's-
Really
it's-
cool looking graphs and stuff.
Yeah, so that's what the, which came from the Blue Leaf, who did the pilot test.
So I'm assuming that at some point in May, after this is all finalized, we'll have them in.
They're gonna come in and go
We
through
can
all
go
that
through
data.
this and-
And explain
and
the
explain.
colors and the ups and downs and all that good stuff. Good.
Okay.
Along with the pilot test, I let the clerk treasurer know that there's some stuff that's been on Facebook. And I think that you guys posted some stuff when you see it. I would probably just say to the public, if there is a question about your water quality, quantity, color, whatever it is, the best thing to do is to call the district here, and Fran would be, I'm assuming, more than happy to answer the question
We-
as to why.
If the people would be amazed at how little chlorine is in the water for them to actually smell and see it. But if they call and say, hey, the chlorine's too high, we would go there and test it, and we'd show them it's probably 0.1. Where recommended, no, mandatory, if we were a disinfection system, we had to be, the lowest number you can have is 0.2 at the furthest end of the system. So for what everybody's seeing now is like nothing, and.
But it's still
so-
common, we typically use chlorine or the potassium chloride to treat the water system now.
Sodium hypochlorite.
So, yep.
Yep, the only well that's not treated with that is Keating's. Keating's has a UV light, so that disinfects everything. Nothing biological can pass through the UV light. Lancaster Ave, we've talked about putting a UV light in there at some point in
And
the future.
that's where we've been having to put, more of the water supply has been coming from Lancaster
Oh,
Ave
yeah.
because Keating's was
Being tested
being tested. Now Keating's will be able to go back online,
tomorrow. Yep.
so it should be less noticeable.
Right, so, but the water's always been chlorinated. It just usually when the water comes out of Lancaster Ave, it dilutes with the water at Page Street.
Coming out of Keating's.
It's, yeah, it's diluted, so no one really notices it. So we just do it as a precautionary thing at Lancaster Ave. It's not meant to go out to the system, it's just when Lancaster Ave was feeding the system. It goes out and it kind of reacts with the piping and stuff, and over time, it just keeps going further and further and further. So I know that
Not a
people
health,
don't.
not a health concern.
No, no, it's so low that, yeah,
Okay.
it's, like Fitchburg wouldn't even be allowed to have it this low,
Okay.
you know, but,
So
but,
it's higher, the chlorinated rate in Fitchburg is higher than.
way
what we
higher,
would have.
way higher, yeah.
But so my point being, there's reasons for things, there's things that happen, that if you post on, an independent page, you're gonna get all sorts of answers. The district tries to monitor and answer those on our own webpage, but if I have an issue with DPW, I call DPW. I don't
You know, post on
throw it out
Facebook.
there on Facebook hoping somebody will catch it. So just, if people aren't getting answers or have questions, I would just say the best thing to do is call the district.
So the things, we have a portable test kit, we can go test chlorine, hardness. So if anybody questions the hardness, we
You go
can
right
do a
to the
lot of
house
those,
and-
we go right to it.
Yep.
That's one thing that, haven't heard any compliments on no, all the soft water that's been, because the whole town is.
Yeah.
Lancaster, there's no hard water in
Right.
Lunenburg for the last 3 months,
Right.
so,
Well, here it comes.
yeah, here it comes down tomorrow, so.
Yep.
So to put Keating's on, just a precaution, we did a bacteria sample, we took it yesterday, takes 24 hours, so if we don't hear anything by tomorrow morning, we'll put the well back online.
Good.
Lancaster's still gonna run with the chlorine, just, it's gonna be diluted at and
Right.
residents
When it
will
mixes.
notice it.
Yep, good.
Okay, review proposal from Waterworth Utility Rate Management Company.
Okay, so that one I mentioned at the last meeting, and it was, to me, it's impressive. I mean, you can plug all kinds of information in there and do projections. So if you do a rate increase, it's not coming from me anymore, it'll be coming from this thing. And so the last meeting we had, usually it was just me in the meetings, but this time Christie jumped in there and listened to it. And I think she's right in the same spot as me, where she feels this would be something pretty beneficial to the district. And the price was $6,000.
Oh, yeah, I had the full proposal.
So the thought being is all of our expenses go into this system, and the system basically throws out a
Sorry, I
number
didn't give you guys that.
that we either should be at, or how it's gonna affect, if we put our rate at a certain level, how we're gonna pay back these items.
Exactly. So she, the thing that she didn't like is she kept asking me every meeting we had, do you have a minimum surplus, cash in the bank that we wanna have? And I said, well, there's nothing as like a policy, and she said, you really need to have a policy, cause that would be part of this thing. So, cause you got to, revenue and expenses, and it's all graphed, you can see it
I
all.
tried to print off a few.
And you can see it, and then if you have a project coming in where you borrow a bond or whatever it is, and you can see the amount of money you need, and here's your revenue, it didn't meet it, so now you see your cash go down, because you need to pay for that somehow. And that was the thing she wanted to see, if we had a minimum cash amount that you wanted to see there, so then you could do your rate study, which is on there too, where you plug in, I wanna raise it 3% this year. 4%, 3%, 3%, 4%, whatever it is. And you can see your revenue jump around as you did those little slight increases. And then you could see where, hey, we didn't make what we need to pay this bond. So then you go back and do, well, let's do a 5%, 5%. And hey, we're pretty close. So it guides you on how to meet your future revenue, your rate increases. And then it also had it in the project, it had escalation factors in there. So hey, I got a $3 million project. Well, let's postpone that for 3 years. Boom, you move it over 3 years. Well, that 3 million just turned into 4.2, and it calculates the cost. So then you can see how do we deal with that. So you guys know me. I'm pretty cheap. I don't like spending money, but this one I thought. And we're not talking huge money. It's $6,000. So for 1 year, and my goal would be we actually extend it further at some point. But I said we recommend we stop 1 year and see what you guys think.
Do they have anything that, when you go multi-year, where they anticipate an increase, or do they just basically, is this kind of an annual thing?
No, they have a multi-year, and it would be, that's an option to us. She gave us the pricing.
Yep.
And it was limited increases, like if you did so many years, I think you're set for that amount, and then it was a certain percentage.
You're talking about the fees from them?
Yes, if we went a 3 year.
Yeah, so the annual subscription was $6,100. If you went 3 year, it's $16,000, which is a savings of,
2,000.
which you're not, there's no inflation, there's 12% discount, so minus $3,000 discount. You go 5 years, you saved, at that price, the discount, no inflation, total savings almost $8,000, so $25,000 for 5 years. So,
Because I think with the
It's-
amount of projects we have coming on, that,
yeah, when
This
I, to follow, like, I loved every aspect that they offer. It is, a set price. We could use them once, or we could use them every single day, 365 days. That's the price. There is nothing, it is all inclusive, unlimited user license, unlimited training, support, workshops, presentations. They help if, say we have projects coming up for the treatment plants, they will work with us to build these projected interactive things that we can put up there and say, all right, listen, this is what the project is. If we push this down the road, that people will actually see numbers change, and it's a working, flowing, not a poster board. It's something that we can really be interactive with, and like Fran said, this isn't him plugging numbers in. And I know a lot of the time, people, last time we went around, were like, well, that's you, we don't trust you, we don't trust your numbers. This is a computer generated, you plug the numbers in, this is what's gonna happen, so
and it's
I like
easy
that
to
side of
change.
it. But for me, the other part of it, I think it would be very beneficial for me in-house, budget-wise. So this is something I will utilize every day. Maybe not every day, but every month I'll be able to have better reporting for you guys. Budget-wise, I'll be able to plug in, if you look at like that third page, or no, fourth page, it shows, one of the pages, sorry, I printed all of them. One of the pages shows like all the line it says water treatment, claims, administrative, supplies, utilities, salaries. I can put all of my GLs that are in, QuickBooks into here and track everything and be able to track all of this stuff, and we can project out, create budgets a little bit better. So I think there's two big benefits from this company. I think for day-to-day use of us, appreciate the compliment of us doing a good job in-house, but I think this could definitely benefit us and keep us on track. But then for all these projects we've got coming up, I think it would be a huge benefit. So
Yes.
when I talk, sorry.
Well, looking at it, I mean, it seems like, so with that page that you're talking about, you can kind of see, if you forecast out to 2036, you can see the steady increase that
Yeah.
that it's projecting, versus, getting something last minute that says, well, we had these increases last year, so now our budget has to go up.
Yeah,
Right.
If we are
It's-
forecasting out, it gives us a benchmark.
it does, and what I really liked, and I know a lot of people don't like hearing rate increases, but it was very interesting in her, presentation to sit there and use us as a hypothetical, like, all right, say you guys are gonna spend $30 million in 5 years. Okay, what would we do if we did 2% this year, 2% this year, 2%? And it literally shows you that line, and she goes, well, you're not gonna hit that mark. What if we did 5, instead of, okay, project's approved, whew, bills are going up like crazy, you know, so it was really interesting to see those lines flow.
And the graphs are in there, so
No, no,
you
I-
can
yeah,
see
oh,
the
yeah.
greens.
Yeah, and it
greens.
just, I don't know, it made me understand it, and I really think the residents, it would be very, useful for them to see. I think it would be beneficial for us, so I highly recommend, along with Fran, that we at least do the 1 year, and I told her that, I said, you know, this is something new, even if we can do the 1 year, if you guys wanted to see, their products, what they offered, and then from there, we can decide, all right, let's go 3, 5 years or whatever, but it's whatever you guys decide, but I do think that this would be not only for our big projects, I think this is a
And
definitely.
if you guys wanna talk to her, we could
Oh,
throw
yeah.
on a computer, she's perfect, we
Yeah.
thought we could explain it,
Yeah.
you know.
She offered to come, and we
I'm-
said, no, let's just,
You know, obviously this is like, it's like anything, it's like information, it's great. It does come up with a cost, and
Yeah.
I'm a little like, golly, that's kind of a lot of money. I'm curious what Mark Mueller thinks about this. And I know it doesn't directly affect him being our auditor at the end of the year.
yeah.
You know, I don't know if that makes his job any easier or anything like that. I don't even know if they, you know.
No, I don't think so, cause see, he's not our accountant.
Right.
He doesn't
just-
come
he just
in,
audits.
No, I understand, but
Yeah.
even like in talking to him last year, you know, about, I like, I'm always a 20-year guy. I'm looking 20 years ahead on as we run through this, you know,
Yeah.
in anything we do or invest in, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I look at it. So it's nice to have all this.
it may not be a benefit for him. I by all means I can reach out to him if you'd like, but for me, in conversations like you said we've had with him, I think this might help me in my job, which in turn might make it more efficient or easier for him. If there's, you know, for me to track things, for me to do things, that may make it easier for him.
Yeah.
I don't think he would get into here and use anything on this,
Well, I
but
agree
I
with you,
think,
yeah. Just,
yeah.
I mean, obviously this year, throughout this calendar year, we have a lot of finances to be putting forth to the public with choices on how we attack PFAS, okay? I mean, it's coming. And this definitely would be very beneficial that we could show if we did this route, this is the cost. If we did this route, this was the cost. I mean,
What's the onboarding time for you to get, you know, basically the information we have into this? Cause that's what, I was trying to say,
Yeah.
geez, can we push it out until we start doing these projects? But I think there's a certain amount of information that you need to get in to get this thing started, so it's not like
I
you
don't think,
buy
I
it
thought it
tomorrow.
was pretty quick.
I think their crew comes in and does it.
I mean, literally, she said,
Right.
oh, I'll touch base with you tomorrow, and then
Yeah.
she said if they decide, it's a kickoff meeting, but there's a team, you know, so
Yeah.
it's someone who works on the rates, someone who's gonna work with me with my accounting, you know, that kind of stuff,
Cause they asked, is it QuickBooks? Yes, it is. So
Yeah.
They're gonna come and grab all those GLs.
And they're gonna install them,
There you
and
go.
then you just upload
So the one
your
benefit
information.
I think would be, July 1st, you know what I mean, like, we'll have our budget numbers, we'll have our new stuff, you know,
That's
if
why,
this is
can
something
it
we
wait
could do,
that,
I
can it
would-
wait that long?
I don't think you would want to wait until July 1st. I think it would be nice to implement before, because at the same time, aren't we going potentially
We're
out
gonna-
for, or applying for more funding in July, or is that August?
That's the plan, July
Yeah.
15th is the deadline.
And that's why I talked
So,
about
yeah.
onboarding, you wanna make sure that you have the time to put all that information in, because when it comes time, you don't wanna have to put all that information in plus the new stuff. You wanna just be able to install the new stuff and see what happens to your forecast.
In my opinion, if you guys were on board with this, we would take it out of one of our budget items and
Yeah.
start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Put all the information in, start
That's
the thing going.
I think there's an amount of work that needs to happen before we start plugging in the new numbers, so
Yes,
I
to
see.
get
Yeah,
going
I
now.
see what you're saying.
and,
So that
and
we
I'm
have-
open to trying it for a year, and I think that basically from any point in time, a year, we're gonna know,
Yeah,
we're gonna have a lot a lot of information we're gonna get out of this. And whether we utilize it and it's another tool in the toolbox.
I'm for it, just from what I heard. If it's gonna make things a lot easier and
Well, it's,
less complicated, we got all this jobs and stuff coming up that we gotta have prices on
and forecast out what it's gonna do to the
Yeah.
rates, and we can change numbers, you
See
can
if we
change
got-
the amount of projects you do.
see if we got the money to do this stuff or
yeah,
whatever.
It's gonna make I think it's a small amount, Woody, I know it's money, but it's a small amount when you consider what we would be paying our engineers to
I-
forecast out
Right. I'm not-
multiple different budgets.
I'm like 50% on this, but, yeah, it doesn't really matter anymore.
No, you're
I like,
33%.
yeah.
I
I
think
like the idea of it, and I understand what the product is.
Yeah.
And I am willing to go along with it, but I do really want to see. This needs to be more than just a computer program. If these people are going to come in and help us, like at that price, I want.
it's my understanding that
deliverables out of
they
this.
are, that we'll have a team
Right.
at our disposal.
Okay.
That, you know, we'll start with, if we were to start, I would probably start by saying, all right, let's get the day-to-day stuff in right now.
Sure.
And then, once we hear from Time Bond, all right, these are some projected numbers, all
Right.
right, let's start that interactive module,
So that's
you
what,
know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's what they'll be
it's-
able to do. Let's say Ty and Bond comes back after this May meeting with the Keating's pilot study, and then we all sit down here as a group and be like, all right, these are the different courses of actions that we can take as the water district for attacking PFAS. This, 3 or 4 different codes that we could take to the public. And could we give this to them and be like, we're thinking of doing this, this, and this, and then we take, and they say, yeah, and then we go to the public and be like, option 1 is this, boom, option 2 is this, and they got all the
Yeah,
numbers behind
yeah.
it. I would very much like to see that, so the people can look at it and be like, okay, this is gonna cost X amount if we do it this way, if we do it this way, if we wait, it's gonna,
Yeah.
like,
And
sure.
then, and it
If
sounds,
that's part of this,
that's what it sounded like when we were talking with them, my impression was that if we ever did have a meeting and we wanted to present this interactive module, either they would train us how to go in and do that, or they would be there for support to say, hey, a resident just got up and asked this question, well, all right, let me put this in and let's see what that does, and it's a visual for people to be able to, that it'll be a fluid thing, not just a poster board presentation, so.
I think that it's gonna help us calculate options faster.
Yeah.
The amount of work that you take
Oh.
to figure out, just think about the Mass Ave project, the amount of work that you physically put in to try to determine the rate, what it's
Yeah.
gonna cost, and this you can change on the fly, and it automatically changes your forecast.
Yeah.
And I think that you can answer questions quicker, I think it's gonna be a time saver,
yeah.
and make us be able to make more accurate decisions, and the public to make more accurate decisions.
I agree with all that,
Yeah.
just, it costs money.
I
know.
But,
I know,
But, yeah, so,
Can I make a comment?
yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's germane to this, but I'll wait till the end, but if you're gonna vote on it,
Yes, you can, Dave.
all right. In my banking experience, we used to do this all the time, okay? Go into a company, and they'd say, well, this is what and it's just a program, that's all it is, it's nothing significant. You put all your numbers in, and it tells you if you can pay for it, and how long it takes, and all that kind of stuff, okay? It's a nothing program. In fact, I'm surprised that the folks that did the financing for us didn't come in and say, well, we can do all of this, and all it is transferring our numbers into a program, and it tells you the alternatives that you can come up with. That's all it is. It's very simple.
But the program does it, not the individual.
Right,
And
right.
once you can modify it very easily and get your answers quick.
Absolutely, it's just a keyboard thing.
But
Yes.
it's not just that one, put a number in and this is what you have. They have lots
I
of
think the
different.
product they're offering
The
is.
rates,
Right.
the capital improvement, your budget, you know, it's not just a one plug in your number and that's it. I felt like it had a lot of,
Right, so they would come in and put in all the past projects, and then we have a loan pool, the Keating well, the Mass Ave water main job, and tanks are paid off now, but you'd see them there with the tapering off.
Well, I mean, I think I understand kind of what Dave's saying, also, like, this is a pretty basic, algorithm of the program. Well, I'm not saying basic, I mean, I could have come up with it, but, you know, I don't know. While we're commenting on this, is there anybody else in the public that has a comment on this particular?
Not to cut anybody short, but you've done a great job, I understand what you're trying to say. Would it help you, Woody, if the girl came in and explained it from her end? Just to see, I think they've done a great job explaining the whole thing. Would that make you feel better?
I mean, she's from California, but I mean, we could get her on the computer.
So.
yeah,
Greyhound has a flight,
Us,
she did offer
Train,
a
a
and
bus.
Fran and I said, let us just do this talk to them first. She said, if you need anything, we can absolutely set up for another meeting. Fran and I even looked at it, we could try to do projected things so you guys can see, the interactive part of all of this. So if that's something that you guys would like.
I mean, since we don't need this tomorrow, I would like to, maybe just dive into this a little bit more.
Yeah, check out all the
And just
stuff
see,
and,
and see,
yeah, nothing's a rush.
what more is offered. I think it's a great idea, I'm all for it. It does seem a little pricey, but if there's a lot more services offered than just a basic computer program, I can understand why. And I'm not, like, I'm sure they're great, but like,
Yeah.
I'd like to see a little bit.
is this anything that you see in any of your water associations just for the state or any other towns or?
She gave a whole list that
She
she
gave
does
me a
this
couple of
for.
recommendations if you guys wanted to reach out.
With
Is
Westford.
there anybody else around here that
I
uses
think
this?
Westford.
Wellesley, Weston, Westford. Actually, I just talked to Mark Westford today.
Dave,
yeah,
I don't wanna put you on the spot, but what do you mean it's a nothing program?
well,
You mean it's worth nothing, or?
oh, no, this is not rocket science.
Right.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
it's,
it is a program worth having, do you think? According to the banking and, I mean, it helped the
I mean,
bank.
let me be very succinct here. It's unfortunate that there are people out as customers of the Lunenburg Water District that have trepidations about how we come up with the numbers that we come up with. So from that standpoint, it's a no-brainer. You spend $6,000 and somebody else, a professional tells you these are the numbers, and somehow or another, the light goes on and the people, the voters say, wow, geez, you know, these guys must be, you know, it's a check and balance, so it's cheap dollars, okay? It really is cheap dollars from that, because, you know, we don't need to take any more aggravation than we do.
So the naysayers about our spending and how we spend it and what
We
we're
are-
looking for,
We're swerving down, we don't need to go there.
So,
Okay, so I mean.
I
just-
guess, Mr. Chair, I would like to see that either the clerk treasurer or the superintendent maybe reach out to a couple of the other,
Sure.
people that have it. How are they using it?
Sure.
How is it similar to what we're consider using it for? Do they have multiple projects that they are anticipating? How long have they had it?
Do
Is
they
it
feel like
worth
they
having?
get value out of
Worth
it?
it,
You know,
okay.
like,
That's all.
Sure.
So one of, every time I spoke to her, well, the first time mostly was, how do we do it now? And right now, it's more reactionary.
sure,
Hey, we got a water main job, okay,
yeah,
raise the rates, cover that thing.
Right.
So in this case, the water main job's already in the thing, you could see it, it's coming. And you could see your finances getting to it, and you're not there. So it's not a reactionary, it's a projected rate increase
Right.
to that spot. So that's what kinda sold me.
they project the interest rates and everything along
Well,
with.
you plug in and tell it.
So you would put in like rolling acres. Let's say we're gonna do rolling acres in July. You would put that in, put that cost in, and it would,
Yeah, you'd see all your greens go up, your expenditures and,
Right.
you know.
Why don't I reach out to these couple towns that she told me about?
Yep.
And would you guys like us to try to set up a meeting with her, just a
We can zoom it right on the
Yeah,
wall.
pres-
put
a
up-
pres-
I'm the board.
Presentation.
I understand the concept of the whole thing, I don't need
But you could-
another
you could
meeting.
ask questions,
I'm just
like-
looking to,
Yeah,
I am more than comfortable myself just talking with this lady. I mean, I seem to be the only one with the problem.
No,
So,
it's,
like, you know,
and she offered it,
No, that's
so,
fine.
Right.
what, all right.
I just wouldn't mind a
I'll follow
little,
up with
little research with the other
So
towns.
why don't we set up a meeting and if you
Yeah.
come in, you can.
I'll
you
just
can-
come
Oh,
in.
yeah,
yeah,
I'll just come in and check it out.
alright,
No big deal.
just, there's, like you said, there's not an immediate need.
Right.
We can check up on it a little bit and just make sure that,
I think it sounds like a great idea. I just wanna make sure that we're getting what I think in my mind for
Sure.
the price, that's all.
sure.
So, all right, we're gonna move on from this.
Okay.
perfect.
We get it. Okay, review letter from the Board of Woodlands trustees, lawyer regarding zone one activities. I'm assuming this is, what I came in the other day and we talked.
Yes,
yeah,
so we had gone out, met them on site, their lawyer had sent a follow-up, saying, just summarizing
Yep.
it. And then this was his letter that he requested, I share with you guys, for you guys to review.
I've already kind of read through this
Yep.
letter. We did on February 4th. Myself, Fran and Christie went out and met with some of the Woodlands personnel, their lawyer, or whatever, and just there was some zone one minor violations going on there, and we had a great little meeting and came up with a fix action for everything. I asked that we have this fixed by May 1st. Everybody was in agreement with it. And I think this letter kind of just follows up on that, saying that they're looking to do that. Some of the things we talked about were golf carts not being allowed out there. They said no problem, they're gonna put up signs and that shouldn't be a problem. The biggest one, I think, it's not a big one or anything, but it was the kayak rack was in the zone one. Asked that to be moved. And basically this letter, from what I understand from them, is they may ask the DEP if the,
So I emailed him, as you had requested, when it was just you and I
Right.
speaking, that I said, we just wanna make sure that all concerns were
Right.
addressed, by the May 1st date
Yep.
that you had suggested when we met in person down at the Woodlands. And he said that they are working towards all of those aspects. So I'm not sure of their exact intentions with the kayak rack. I know in this email, it just talks about them hiring a
Yeah.
water resource consultant with expertise in hydrology to produce a data-driven, science-based report on whether there's impact, so I don't know if that's in reference to the kayak, so
So,
he did acknowledge your date, the May
Right.
1st date
And I'm not-
that you referenced.
yes, and I think,
Um,
however it gets resolved, if they talk to the DEP and the DEP says, yep, no problem, that can stay there, that's resolved.
That works
Yep,
for me.
That's-
takes us
that's-
right out of it.
Works for me, so it sounds like, I appreciate the letter they sent over, they're working on it. and-
Yeah,
Yeah, great,
so I just said received, well,
yep.
good for now, you guys don't want any other response?
Okay, I'm looking at one here that I'm thinking about that. Is conservation gonna be involved in this swale and water runoff from the parking lot into the lake?
Where parking lot?
Oh,
So you said that they were gonna, where
Down
it
the
says they're gonna
bottom.
make a parking
it says
No,
at
down
the
the
very
bottom,
bottom.
from the, almost at the very bottom, the Woodlands considering proposing.
structure.
to
If
construct
it,
a
the only
swale.
conservation would be involved if it was within a 100-foot buffer.
Well, the water's gonna wind up in the lake sooner or later. That's what stormwater is.
Then
I mean,
that's
they
stormwater and
kill us.
conservation.
They kill us on parking, doing houses with
Well,
the
I
stormwater
will say,
stuff.
what I will say
Yeah.
is this, as far as the water department is concerned, if the Woodlands is constructing something there, as long as it doesn't affect our zone one, that's where my concern is.
Yep, it's in
As
the
far
zone two,
as-
it says.
If it's in the zone two, that's, whatever they're doing there, that's not this department, that is
Yep.
conservation or somebody else. So
Conservation or
that's-
stormwater or
right.
wherever it may be.
That's not us,
All right,
so.
Yeah,
All right.
that was it, I just wanna follow up with that with you.
Okay. Oh, okay. Commissioner, superintendent clerk, treasurer additions, what do we got?
I spoke to MDR, the contractor doing Mass Ave. Anticipated start date, March 31st.
Okay.
Loam and Seed, paving to begin the next week. I submitted the work request to the state, haven't heard any responses back, so we'll see how it goes. But they wanna get in there, get the paving, get everything done and pack up and head out, so they're ready to move on, so.
Good.
And the only other thing I got is the auto car. I'm one of my own vehicles. I had the kingpins redone on the steering, and it was a huge difference. When I drive the auto car, I mean it is all over the road. So I mean it's very. I mean you're driving like you shouldn't. Anyway, so I was wondering, would you guys be okay with us sending it to Zach Taylor for service? And they'll check it out, check the steering bearings and everything, and it could cost a couple $1,000.
Yeah.
You got
But to me,
you
it's-
got a maintenance budget, right?
Oh yeah, well we
Yeah,
got
that's
that
part of the
upgrade
truck.
equipment budget.
Yeah, upgrade equipment, but
I'm all
it's
for that,
a
yeah.
little bit more than
No,
what we can
if
do
there's a
here.
safety issue, yeah, by all means, then you have a budget line item to take care of that safety issue.
When time
handle
rod
it.
ends or something, maybe a drive.
Right, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
No
that,
problem.
yep,
Uh,
that shouldn't be an ask if there's a safety issue.
yeah, no, it's not safety. It's,
No,
it's
but-
been
Well,
like
I
it's
know what you're saying,
I know
though,
what
but
you
it's just,
mean there.
it's gonna be more than
yeah,
your average, and I understand that. But yeah, send it down there, see what,
yeah. Have them check it out. So,
See what they think.
what else we got? Yeah, hydrant flushing April 1st. Keating wells going back on tomorrow. That's
Drought.
about it.
Drought.
Oh yeah. So we got. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot. So we got a letter from Mass DEP March 21st. The state has a vote of March 7th confirmed that we are still in a critical drought. So our new permit references actions we must take on a critical drought, and it's not really no actions, restrictions. There is no outside watering, not even by hand, nothing. You cannot water your grass, nothing.
is this going into effect?
It is in effect
It
right
is
now.
right now.
Car washing too?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you go to a car wash, a business.
Well,
you-
no, but
you-
I mean, you know,
Yeah, you can't. You can't. Yeah, you can't use water.
You can drink it.
You can drink it. And Christy was on a Zoom. That was the Zoom that she was on, and this is where it kind of gets a little tough. I mean, there's the conservation, environmental side of things, and then there's money.
Yeah.
I mean, we survive by selling water.
Right.
So this is a financial impact to everybody
Yeah.
in the state. So hopefully it doesn't last long. I mean, we've been getting some pretty good rain, so, I mean, up where I live, I'm underwater, so it's kind of funny, we're in a critical drought.
Well, the tough part she was saying, was on with Mass Waterworks, she was saying is, the tough part is when they make the call in, March 7th, they have the vote, and we get it March, 14th, that's your past 30 days. So, yeah, February was dry, so she's like, it's tough because they're coming out saying critical drought, but they're not giving like the most recent
Up-to-date
week
information.
7 to 10 days. They're giving like
Yeah.
even before that, cause they just aren't getting their records in time, so we could get inches of rain
It's still
and
being,
it still be considered critical drought, so it's.
How often do they meet, or,
Once a month.
Once a month, okay.
Yeah.
So this could change in a month if it's not.
Yes.
it could,
Okay.
yep, it could.
Well, I mean, so it's month by month.
Yeah,
Alright, I mean, it is
It is what
what it
Yeah.
is. I mean,
I got Christie sent me a report on forecasting for this. And
Oh, yeah, you're
this is
fine.
what it says, and I
Yeah,
cannot
it's fair.
this is from the National Weather Service on, it was a February 2025 hydrologic conditions. And it says that the 3-month outlook shows chances leaning for above normal temperatures and equal chances for above normal, or below normal precipitation.
I gotta.
It's gonna rain,
Covers the
or
Or
it's not gonna rain, or it's gonna rain less than normal.
It's gonna be a lot or a little, or,
no, yeah.
I said, why even come out with that
Yeah.
statement? But
it was interesting to talk with her. She's a big advocate, Jen Peterson with Mass Waterworks, and to have, there was probably 30 other people on there, some who've been dealing with it a lot, not at all, and a lot of frustration from the waterworks side dealing with, DEP and dealing with this, like, you guys, you're setting these restrictions and you're setting these things, but they're not realistic, you know, so,
Right.
so she's big advocate on trying to, bridge the gap, you know what I mean, on trying to make these realistic things, like, cause even one other guy was saying, similar to you, he's like, we're in critical drought, he's like, we're overflowing right now, yet I have to explain to my residents that they're not allowed to, like, wash their car, yet the streams where he's at are overflowing, so it's a tough
I
situation.
thought aren't we based on stream flow?
We were,
Well, yeah, we used to be the Squanicook River. We
Yeah.
would watch that, so we have two options, we could pick for the baseline restrictions, we could pick calendar, which
Right.
is May 1st to September 30th, or we could watch the Squanicook River when it hit certain points, trigger points. If it was at that point for 2 days, then you had to do restrictions. And we did that for quite a while, and it kinda got a little crazy trying to watch the
So there's
stream
no,
flows.
no blend where you could say it's drought, but yet the Squanicook is up.
Not on the regular baseline, yet we could do that.
Okay.
Okay, right, so where I pick, we're gonna do calendar restrictions, I can just say, I'm not doing calendar, I'm gonna watch the Squanicook River, so we're good to go. But then when it goes into the droughts, that's just baseline, so no matter what, we have to do that anyway. But, when they say it's a critical level 1, critical drought, level 2, level 3, right now we're in level 3. You gotta do what it says.
that's
Doesn't matter what
statewide,
the
that's not,
Squanicook-
yeah,
right.
yeah.
3 bad,
Three's
1
bad.
1 okay.
Yeah, one's slight.
Oh, so then we're in bad.
Yep.
Yeah, we're in bad. I think there's only one. I have a printout. So
Is that the Squanicook that runs through Pepperell, is that what we're talking about?
yeah. Yes.
We are, I mean, we're in a decent pattern for what I see for the future, but
Yeah,
Oh, that,
once again, I mean, it's out of our hands, I mean,
Yep.
I agree, I think it's,
that's what one of the guys on the Zoom was saying, he said, you know, where the residents are coming at us yelling, he said, we've had to turn around and be like, this is not us.
right.
We understand exactly where you're at, but we have to follow what they're telling us.
Yeah.
This isn't us setting these
Right.
restrictions, this is the state coming at us telling it, so.
If it was us, we'd be like, keep your faucet on.
Yeah.
wash your car every day, Dave.
Yeah.
That wasn't the old days. We did water restrictions only because we were out of water.
Right.
We couldn't
If
keep
we
up
get,
with the wells.
Yeah.
if we get, yeah, whatever. Anything else, Fran?
Nope.
With
That-
that water, isn't there a place in Ipswich that they used to use as a focal point in
Pepperell.
Oh, I thought it was in
Well, the
Ipswich.
Ipswich is a critically overburdened subbasin. I mean,
That's how I
it's
feel.
been like that since for
Yeah.
200 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that's how it is. I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
You know, you look around and you see the amount of swamps just in this town
Yeah.
that are full of water.
Mm.
You don't
Water table is
realize,
about a foot down.
you don't realize how much wetlands and how many acres of swamp are in this town until you just drive around and look, I mean, it's,
But you also gotta realize, they don't look at the like Christie was saying, the 2-inch rainstorm we got and everything's full. They're looking, hey, how much rain did we get, that we didn't get over,
Yeah.
or snow over the winter?
Yeah.
Hey, we're
Right.
off by 6 inches, that's what they look at.
Yeah,
yeah, but we got an extra 10 inches of rain, but we didn't get the extra snow.
I'd look at,
Yeah.
we can sit here and
Well,
argue,
that's-
because I'm
yeah,
with you.
It is what it
You
is.
can go dig a hole in the ground and be like, the water table's really high right now, and it is, but
Yeah.
it's not.
yeah, she said that's what
Right.
she, as a higher up, and all of them who understand this are trying to work with the state to be like,
Listen,
You're
you're
not
kinda
realistic
crippling us
here.
when
We
it's
gotta-
not, when it's not needed.
yes.
So you have the
yes.
state that is the regulatory, you
Yeah.
have us as the departments, and then you have the Mass Waterworks, which is our basic
Liaison.
liaison
Yeah.
with the state, trying
Yes.
to
American
lobby
Waterworks,
for
yeah.
us,
New England
so that
Waterworks.
we can try to do something that makes common
Yeah.
sense.
Yep.
Great.
Perfect. You got anything to add, Kristen?
Just a couple things, got an email today about that, grant, the water efficiency one.
Yep.
We did not get it. It was a Massachusetts-based one, it was $500,000. There, she said that there was overwhelming, response to it, 54 applicants.
Wow.
And out of the 54 applicants, only 13 people got money. But I was, kinda surprised, so I printed it off, closest one, Groton got it, Fall River, Springfield, Cape Cod, Duxbury. A lot of them were very similar to what we were looking for, leak detection and all that, and, you know, I mentioned to Fran, like, I'm curious why
They
you
got
submit,
it.
yeah, why'd you get leak detection? And he said, well, it's, you know, other bigger cities like that probably have higher water loss than
Not-
we.
We have under 10% unaccounted for water.
Yeah.
Not many people have that. Most people are 28.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, so I reached out to, you know, Heather with Capital Strategic had helped us put that proposal together. So I reached out to him and said, appreciate your help. It was worth trying for it, and keep us in the loop with,
And she did a good job on
but
it.
yeah, the proposal was amazing,
Yeah.
like, could not have done that. So, so there was that, and then the other thing is following up on 11 Butterfly Lane. The resident who came in and talked, we got her meter tested.
Yep.
Got it back and it passed. So I guess my question is, last her and I emailed, I let her know that that passed. She said, you know, I guess originally before she had come in, she had set up like a payment arrangement with Lisa, so she said, I'm not doing that payment arrangement anymore, she didn't agree to what you guys proposed. So I said, well, I have the meter here, I've got it right here, she had mentioned to me about wanting to have it tested elsewhere. So I haven't followed up since. How would you guys like to proceed? I mean, right now, I mean, the hard part is that, you know, the balance is still sitting there, so is there like, all right, you need to finalize this in 2 months, 6 months, a year, are we letting this go? Do I kinda let her know, like, just let the balance sit there and let,
She owes the money, and she's, at this point, if she's not willing to do anything else, then she's back to just normal of like, you know, the rates are set by, not us, even the interest rates.
the finance charges?
Yeah, the finance charges is set by.
Well, in our, rules and regs is
Right.
what we charge for that, but I guess the thing is that she's at the point now where typically, according to our rules and regs, she would be at the shut off point. But she is emailing me saying, well, you can't shut me off because we haven't agreed on this, I'm hiring, I don't know, whatever, so I'm kind of at a point where I don't know.
I
okay.
disagree with that statement 100%.
So do I.
Okay,
You know, it's not, you know,
What would happen to one of us if we didn't pay our electric bill?
It shut us off.
Shut it
So
off.
I would say that you gotta give her time if she's going to.
Yeah.
If she has an alternative route she wants to go, one, I would not give her the meter.
No, I wouldn't either.
Unfortunately, you can't, there's no chain of custody in that meter if it goes to somebody as
Okay.
far as whether it gets altered or not.
right.
okay,
So I think at this point, we still have to hold on to the meter.
okay,
And I think we have to give her a time frame, or we're gonna act based on our rules and regulations.
What,
And
what
that would
if,
be my,
what if someone comes here?
Right,
does the test.
exactly,
if,
yeah.
if she wants to
Right.
send somebody here to do the
Okay.
test, fine, but I wouldn't feel comfortable. It's not
Just
that I
hand it over
don't
the
trust
library.
anybody, but the
Yep.
chain
Yeah.
of custody on that at this point.
Right.
Okay.
You know, it's our meter, we've had it tested the way we've always done things, and.
Yep.
And it,
You know.
it wasn't like it passed in her benefit. I mean, cause it wasn't, you know, like.
Right, it was less, it
That's
was
the
reading
tag
less
put
than
on
what
it,
it
so
actually
gives-
should have read.
It gives all
Yeah.
the results and
That's the
everything on
meter?
that.
Yeah.
That's the meter,
What were
and
the
then
percentages, 90?
90, the low 96.9, you know.
for
so-
low,
For low, inner, 99 and 98.8, so I mean, it's working correctly.
It's pretty.
We're losing
pretty
a
accurate,
percent.
But the loss is to
Yes.
us.
Right,
okay, so I will let her know
That,
if she wants it tested, she can have someone come here. Is there a time frame in which if she is to seek legal action,
I'm gonna tell you this, this is now, this is how I feel, that as of today, she owes her bill.
Okay.
And interest, penalties and all that is accruing daily. If she wants to go hire a lawyer and do something else, she's more than welcome to. And if she wants to come back and litigate that later on, that she wants that monies back, well, she can do it. But as of today, she's responsible for her bill, and her bill will continue to go up. If
Okay.
she's unwilling to pay it, then we're shutting the water off.
Okay, so she needs to come up with some type of payment arrangement.
Absolutely.
And
And
then,
if she's
okay.
if she's gonna get a lawyer, he's supposed to come in here and talk to us, is
And
that
it's
what
not,
it is?
and
I
it's
don't
not
know.
anything,
All
so,
she said, she just said that she.
just so everybody knows, I know what you're saying, we're gonna shut the water off,
No.
but per our
Yeah.
rules and
Right.
regulations.
Yes.
This is long.
Yeah, this isn't us just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we've allowed this to go, we've
Right.
tried and done as much as we can.
Right.
So basically, our rules and regulations are there for a reason, and we've already stretched them.
How far back does this go?
2 years almost, a year and a half.
When was
About
it?
2 years.
Yeah,
How long?
2 years.
actually, yeah,
I mean,
because it was
she's
the
been paying-
first one
She
was.
was paying pretty good.
Right. It
How
was in
come we haven't shut the water off
She's
yet?
been paying, she was on a
She
payment.
was.
She was on a payment plan.
Oh.
Yeah.
So now she doesn't
She had
wanna
been
follow the
paying
payment plan.
$200,
200.
something like that, yeah.
So, yeah, so yeah,
What's hypothetically, process, she decides to sell her house, she can't sell her house without having the final bill and
Yeah.
everything, final read, so she couldn't sell it anyway, so
so it'll
there's.
come out of our closing costs.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, worst case scenario, one way or another, so I'm with you, it's time to act,
Yeah.
but she's gotta, if she wants to go another route, I'd love to give her a little bit of leeway to try to go that route, but we can't wait forever.
Okay,
We have to follow, we've already stretched beyond, what our rules and regulations say.
Right.
Okay.
And I think, we've already offered, some sort of resolution that is less than what, if it kept going the way it was going.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what else.
And
what
this
else
is
we
all
can do.
because she doesn't think that she used the water.
Right. But unfortunately, I've run into the same thing. I had a leak, I didn't use the water, but it went through my meter and I had to pay for it. So it is what it is.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay?
that's all I got.
Mr.
I'm
Murphy?
good, I'm good.
Mr. Esposito?
nothing for me.
Public comment?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Sarzinski?
I just had a question following up on the heating well. You said that has been offline for the pilot study.
Correct.
How long has it been offline?
It was in February, it went on full 24-hour pumping to waste. So it was disconnected from the system in February. Prior to that, it was, we just ran it at night. We would just
It would go
into the
back
system.
on at night, but during the day it was pumping to waste. We were
well-
100% on Lancaster during the day.
No, in February, it went 100% on Lancaster for the whole system. Keating's never went into the system at beginning of
Gotcha.
February.
So February through basically today, it has been offline.
Correct.
And we can do that because of the low usage this time of year.
That is correct. I have the actual date written down somewhere, but. it was in
Mr. Rogers?
February.
With regard to the meeting that you had down at Hickory Hills with the powers to be, this is a pretty straightforward situation so far as I'm concerned. We have a legal document that has been signed and it's in full force and effect. And that's the deal. Pure and simple. So whatever that document says, they have to do and we have to do. So end of discussion. With regard to monies that are owed, it was coincidental that I stopped up at the center of town and talked with a representative of the former sewer board. And they, because of the Donnybrook that they've had with the sewer department, they are behind 35 to 45%
Disconnected from the system.
of their bills. So this, this is a very important thing. And if it gets out of control like they are, it can be,
Snowball, yeah.
a lot of money. So that's all I have.
Kristen, you can't shut the sewer off like you can the water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they can put it over the tax bills.
Just throwing this out here, in thinking that, I don't know if there is a deal to be made, but it sounds to me like, from what Mr. Rogers says and what I'm not a sewer guru, but they might
And I am.
benefit, they might benefit from something like this. Is there a partnership that we can we split the license, or is it one license?
I don't think I would even
Per.
consider
I would
that.
assume
I'm
probably
with John on
license
that
per,
one.
I
yeah.
don't want nothing to do with
No, it
the
wouldn't,
sewer
it
part.
wouldn't, we wouldn't tie them into what we're doing.
That'd be like two different programs, you
Yeah.
know, we
Okay.
have our numbers, because. the
Because it
thing
says
too is
unlimited
we have
number.
Different, we have
I
different
like the way
billing
you're
software.
thinking, but.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
what
just
you're
trying to
talking about.
reduce it a little bit,
I
if we
just-
could split it, they have their
It's-
program, put their numbers in, we have ours, put our numbers in, but I
I
didn't
think that's the
know.
tough part, is
Yeah.
that we have Northern Data, they have Munis, I have QuickBooks, they have
I
different
think
town
that's a
accounting,
remedy
Okay.
for
would be
disaster.
very,
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
no problem.
Appreciate the
Don't ask, don't
suggestion.
get.
Yeah.
That's right, you gotta bring it up so we can
Gotta try,
sign
gotta
off.
try, I don't know.
Shot that down right away.
Yeah, it's good, you know.
I got something.
Are you sure, Paul? Because-
In fact, I never was a banker, but I think you talked to the girl on this program.
Mhm.
You like the program. Is there any wiggle room in saying, hey, we like this, can we do a 3-year deal? Do we have to do the first year deal? Is that?
Oh, no, you can do
No, you
whatever.
could do
No, we
just
can do
a.
it in
Yeah,
free.
you can do whatever.
But I'm just saying.
But you have to pay up front.
Well, that it's, we don't have
It's
it in
in.
our budget, so the 6,000,
Right.
we could pull out of our
Maybe.
system upgrades,
Yeah.
we got a place to pull it.
Yeah.
Could-
I
but-
personally would favor just doing a 1-year deal.
1 year?
After
Okay.
talking to her, if we like it, let's see if this,
Can-
if fruit
You're
comes
thinking
off
a
this tree.
3-year
you know.
contract at that price, July 1st each fiscal year, is that what you were gonna?
Well,
Hey.
no, if you do the 3-year and get the savings,
Yeah.
and then if we decide after year 1 we don't want to, we could pay whatever the year 1 was and not renew. If not, it locks us in at a lower rate for 3 years.
I don't know if you.
I don't know if
can
they
do it.
think that they
Come
want
on,
that.
that's a shell game. Try that out.
That
Who
brain of
knows?
yours is going on.
Don't ask, don't get.
Our thinking is we do the 1 year,
Yeah.
see how we like it, if we like it, then we put it part of our budget, and then we do the
Does this
3 year.
product bear fruit for us? Great. If
Yeah.
not, like, you know what, there was thanks,
Yeah.
but
It's
it's,
a new lineup,
we
yeah.
just don't think we can get, you know, the
Yep.
full benefit of that.
And we got a lot of stuff going on,
We do
coming
have a
up
lot of
that
stuff
we
going
can,
on.
you know, test it, see how
Yeah.
it works.
Right.
Yeah, this would be the year.
While
where you
I
get into
would
it.
help us with
Under-
scenarios.
Understand how all these programs work, same with, strategic solutions
Yeah.
and all that. These are all great things, but they do cost money.
Yeah.
You know, so I wanna make sure if we do spend the money on it, that we actually, you know, get quite the benefit out of it that we should be getting for the value, so. Any other public comment?
Mr. Chair, I just have one more comment, if there is nothing
You
from the
have,
public.
you have one more.
One more. I would like to thank, this seems to be the biggest turnout that we've had in a while, and I'd like to thank the public for coming out.
Oh, all right. Mr. Esposito, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't.
I'm ready for your line.
I make a motion we adjourn.
Yes. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.